Cheating in sports is a topic that never fails to ignite controversy and debate. Throughout history, the pressure to win at all costs has driven some of the world's most celebrated athletes to take unethical shortcuts, tarnishing their legacies and altering the course of their careers. Whether through the use of performance-enhancing drugs, manipulation of equipment, or outright deception, these athletes were caught red-handed, exposing the dark side of competitive sports. Marion Jones. Former Olympic athlete Marion Jones, who went to prison after using performance-enhancing drugs, has spoken out about her tumultuous fall from grace as she insisted she would have won the gold without the stimulants. The mom of three, now 48, was at the height of career during the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, Australia, at which she achieved a whopping 3 gold and 2 bronze medals. At the time, Marion was known to the world as the fastest woman as she showcased her immense power and strength while in track and field. However, it all came to a screeching halt in 2008 when the athlete was sentenced to 6 months in prison, 2 years of supervised release, and 800 hours of community service when she admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs, despite having initially denied the allegations. 16 years after being stripped of her title, Marion is now reflecting on why certain choices were made, as she remained adamant that she would have amassed the same number of medals even without the drugs. She insisted that she would have still been able to win and hold the title of the fastest woman in the world without the drugs during the 2000 Olympics due to her enormous talent. The runner told GMA, "The answer's very easy for me, 1000%, and that's what makes it very hard. I was blessed with just an enormous amount of talent, but knowing that it didn't need to happen the way that it did always will stick with me as a moment that is hard." Marion went to jail for 6 months in 2008 and has since focused on living a private life, adding that her time behind bars made her reflect on her decisions. Lance Armstrong. On July 25, 1999, Armstrong became the second American to win the Tour de France, the sport's most prestigious race, and the first to win for an American team. 3-time winner Greg LeMond had raced with European teams. Riding with the U.S. Postal Service team, Armstrong won the 3,630 kilometers, 2,256-mile, 22-day race by 7 minutes 37 seconds. During the tour, he fought allegations of doping because traces of a banned substance, corticosteroid, from a prescription skin cream he used for saddle sores, were found in his urine. The International Cycling Union cleared him, but he continued to endure accusations of doping, especially from the French press. Thus, Armstrong felt his July 23, 2000, win of the Tour de France to be a vindication of his 1999 win and an answer to his critics. He won the Tour again in 2001 and 2002, relying on his strength in the mountain climbs. In 2003, he overcame crashes and illness to claim his 5th consecutive Tour de France, tying a record set by Miguel Indurain. He surpassed Indurain in 2004 when he won his 6th consecutive race. After winning his 7th Tour in 2005, Armstrong retired from the sport, but in September 2008 he announced that he was returning to competitive racing. He placed 3rd in the 2009 Tour de France and stepped away from competitive racing permanently in 2011. In June of that year, the U.S. anti-doping agency, USADA, alleged that Armstrong and 5 of his associates, 3 doctors, a manager, and a trainer, had been part of a decade-long doping conspiracy beginning in the late 1990s. According to USADA, Armstrong used performance-enhancing drugs, including erythropoietin, EPO, and human growth hormone, and distributed drugs to other cyclists. USADA also accused Armstrong of having undergone blood transfusions and testosterone injections. The allegations resulted in his immediate ban from triathlon competition. In August 2012, he declined to enter USADA's arbitration process, which led the agency to announce that it would strip him of all his prizes and awards from August 1998 forward, including his 7 Tour de France titles, and enact a lifetime ban from cycling and any other sport that follows the World Anti-Doping Code. Armstrong stated that his decision to no longer contest them was not an admission of guilt, but was instead a result of his weariness with the process. Diego Maradona. From the mid-70s to the mid-90s, the average distance covered by top-level players doubled. This is precisely the timescale of Maradona's career. But, until too late for him, there was no corresponding increase in the level of protection given by referees. Maradona was subjected to brutal treatment every time he took the field. In that 1986 meeting with England, he was being kicked all over the place and elbowed off the ball. The vast majority of us, having to put up with this kind of treatment, would have no qualms about punching the ball into the back of the net and claiming a goal. The Hand of God was a goal scored by Argentine footballer Diego Maradona during the Argentina v England quarterfinals match of the 1986 FIFA World Cup. The goal was illegal under association football rules because Maradona used his hand to score. The referees did not have a clear view of the play and allowed the goal to stand. The goal gave Argentina a 1-0 lead. Argentina went on to win 2-1, with Maradona scoring a second goal known as the goal of the century, en route to claiming the World Cup. The goal's name derives from Maradona's initial response on whether he scored it illegally, stating it was made a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. Maradona eventually acknowledged he had illegally handled the ball, stating that he considered the goal to be symbolic revenge for the United Kingdom's victory over Argentina in the Falklands War 4 years earlier. Rosie Ruiz. Rosie Ruiz, whose name becomes synonymous with cheating when Boston Marathon officials vacated her victory in the 1980 race after determining that she had sneaked into it about a mile from the finish line. Ruiz was working as a secretary at a commodities trading firm in Manhattan when she stunned the running world by being the first woman to cross the finish line in Boston in 2 hours, 31 minutes and 56 seconds. It would have been the third fastest time ever recorded by a woman in a marathon. But suspicions about her victory arose immediately. Spotters had not seen her at checkpoints along the 26-mile course, and after the race she told a television interviewer that she had run only one other marathon, the 1979 New York City Marathon, and that she had finished that race in 2 hours and 56 minutes. So you improved from 2 hours and 56 minutes to 2 hours and 31 minutes? The interviewer, Catherine Switzer, a TV commentator who had gained fame as one of the first women to run in the Boston Marathon, asked incredulously. "I trained myself," Ruiz replied, without explaining further. Tonya Harding. Harding spent much of her early life training, eventually dropping out of high school to devote her time to the sport. Harding is a 2-time Olympian and a 2-time Skate America champion. In January 1994, Harding became embroiled in controversy when her ex-husband, Jeff Gillooly, orchestrated an attack on her fellow U.S. skating rival Nancy Kerrigan. On March 16, 1994, Harding accepted a plea bargain in which she pled guilty to conspiracy to hinder prosecution. As a result of her involvement in the aftermath of the assault, the United States Figure Skating Association banned her for life on June 30, 1994. She was stripped of her 1994 title. From 2003 to 2004, Harding competed as a professional boxer. Her life has been the subject of many books, films, documentaries, and academic studies. Ben Johnson. For the first time in 1980, he met the American runner Carl Lewis, who dominated the running scene. 5 years later, Johnson beat him in a competition for the first time. The two world-class sprinters also met in the 100-meter distance at the World Athletics Championships in Rome in 1987. In this race, Lewis was inferior to Ben Johnson. With an extraordinarily fast time of 9.83 seconds, Ben Johnson won the gold medal and set a new world record. Carl Lewis was already accusing Johnson of taking banned performance enhancers and anabolic steroids. The following year at the 1988 Summer Olympics in Seoul, the two runners faced each other again in the supreme athletic discipline. This time too, Carl Lewis had to admit defeat. Ben Johnson ran even faster. He completed the short distance in a unique world record time of 9.79 seconds. The race was called the Race of the Century because of the unheard-of running time. Ben Johnson was hailed as the fastest man in the world. But not for long, because after the race Johnson was tested for doping, and the results came back positive. It turned out that the athlete had been taking banned anabolic steroids for a long time. The case became the biggest doping scandal in sports history. During the subsequent investigations into the doping case, Johnson initially denied knowingly taking performance enhancers. Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is an American former professional baseball left fielder who played 22 seasons in Major League Baseball. Bonds was a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates from 1986 to 1992 and the San Francisco Giants from 1993 to 2007. He is considered to be one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Recognized as an all-around player, Bonds received a record 7 National League Most Valuable Player awards and 12 Silver Slugger awards, along with 14 All-Star selections. He holds many MLB hitting records, including most career home runs, 762, most home runs in a single season, 73, set in 2001, and most career walks. Despite his accolades, Bonds led a controversial career, notably as a central figure in baseball steroid scandal. He was indicted in 2007 on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice for allegedly lying to a grand jury during the federal government's investigation of Balco, a manufacturer of an undetectable steroid. After the perjury charges were dropped, Bonds was convicted of obstruction of justice in 2011, but was exonerated on appeal in 2015. During his 10 years of eligibility, he did not receive the 75% of the vote needed to be elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Some voters of the Baseball Writers Association of America stated they did not vote for Bonds because he used performance-enhancing drugs. Justin Gatlin. He is the 2004 Olympic champion in the 100 meters, the 2005 and 2017 world champion in the 100 meters, the 2005 world champion in the 200 meters, and the 2019 world champion in the 4x100 meters relay. On July 29, a month after winning the U.S. title, Gatlin told the media that he had been informed by the USADA that he had given a positive doping test in April the same year. He claimed his innocence in the matter. It is believed that the substance that Gatlin tested positive for was testosterone or its precursor. The failed test was revealed after a relay race on April 22, 2006 in Lawrence, Kansas. The B sample was confirmed as positive in July. Gatlin's coach, Trevor Graham, had 8 athletes who had tested positive or received bans for performance-enhancing drugs. After Gatlin's failed test, Graham stated in an interview that Gatlin had been sabotaged. He blamed massage therapist Christopher Wetstein for rubbing a cream containing testosterone onto Gatlin's buttocks without his knowledge. On August 22, Gatlin accepted an 8-year ban from track and field, avoiding a lifetime ban in exchange for his cooperation with the doping authorities, and because of the exceptional circumstances surrounding his first positive drug test. Gatlin appealed against the ban. An arbitration panel reduced it to 4 years at a hearing in December 2007. Tom Brady. The Deflategate scandal was a National Football League controversy in the United States involving the allegation that New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady ordered the deliberate deflation of footballs that were used in the Patriots' victory against the Indianapolis Colts during the 2014 AFC Championship game on January 18, 2015. The controversy resulted in Brady being suspended for 4 games, while the team was fined $1 million and forfeited 2 draft selections in 2016. Brady successfully appealed the suspension in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York, allowing him to resume his playing duties for the entirety of 2015. However, following the conclusion of the season, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit reinstated Brady's 4-game suspension, which became effective for the 2016 regular season. After losing a request for a rehearing, Brady announced he would accept the suspension and missed the season's first 4 games. The controversy remained a topic of discussion during the season, which concluded with the Patriots winning Super Bowl and Brady being named the most valuable player of the game. The season also saw the NFL change the procedure for monitoring football pressure. Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez, often known as A-Rod, was one of the most talented and high-profile players in Major League Baseball. However, his career was marred by controversy due to his involvement in performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs. Rodriguez first faced scrutiny in 2009 when he admitted to using steroids earlier in his career while playing for the Texas Rangers, a revelation that shocked fans and tarnished his reputation. The controversy deepened in 2013 with the Biogenesis scandal, in which Rodriguez was implicated in obtaining PEDs from a now-defunct Florida clinic. Following a lengthy investigation by MLB, Rodriguez was handed a historic 211-game suspension, which was later reduced to 162 games, effectively sidelining him for the entire 2014 season. This punishment was the most severe in MLB history for a PED-related offense. Rodriguez's involvement in the scandal not only damaged his legacy but also raised significant questions about the integrity of the sport during an era when steroid use was rampant. Despite returning to baseball after serving his suspension, the controversy continues to cast a shadow over his otherwise illustrious career, serving as a cautionary tale of the consequences of cheating in professional sports. And there you have it, the stories of 10 athletes who were caught cheating, each one a powerful reminder that the cost of dishonesty can be steep. If you found this video eye-opening, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let me know in the comments which of these stories surprised you the most, or if there are other athletes you think should have made the list.